Hey girl, hey. We
Hey
are
girl, hey.
with my girl SiSi.
Hi.
Yeah,
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, you've been moving literally and energetically. So let's jump right
Thank
into
you.
it. Just tell me, like, how do you stay grounded and centered in all of the movement, especially with being on a tour?
Oh, okay. So first of all, when it comes to staying grounded, I like to just make sure that I'm practicing being present in everything that I do. So from the smallest little things in my life, I'm making sure that I'm being mindful and present so that when I am on the move and, dealing with life and dealing with all of the big things, that it just kind of comes naturally to just be present, be mindful in the moment. And something particularly that helps me is family, because I'm always moving around from one place to the other. So having that connection and always, reaching out back home and, that's my family really helps me stay grounded for sure.
Nice. So we kind of gave it away just probably a little bit, but go ahead and like just tell everyone all the things that you do.
Okay, where do we start? Well, first of all, I'm Cece. I am a professional dancer. I also sing, I act. So, all around arts, entertainment, that is my world, that is my life. But outside of that, I am on a whole nother spectrum. I'm also a preschool teacher. And then I'm also an activist. I'm a part of an organization called New Era Detroit, which I've been a part of for 3 years now, 4 years actually. So yeah, I dance back up for many different artists. And I've been dancing professionally for about 10, 15 years. But I've actually like been learning what it takes to be a professional dancer since I was about 4 or 5. So it's something that has been, ingrained in me. I grew up around music and entertainment. My dance world, or not even just dance world, I'll say, like I said, I've been learning what it takes to become a professional dancer since I was about 4 or 5. And even though I'm not technically trained, I'm not a studio kid. I didn't grow up in the studio or anything like that. I started out dancing in church, and my mom, she was over our praise dance team. And it took me, like, just looking back to realize that without that, my mom instilling the things that she instilled in me during praise dance practices and everything like that, I learned how to catch on the choreo at a very, very young age. I learned how to be present on stage, show a presence on stage at a very young age. I learned how to show up and, work hard at a very, very young age. And just bringing it back to the family thing, because that's where I started. It was my safe space because I got to be, it was like I'm in my own home. I don't have to be nervous here. I don't have to be scared here. So that helped me as I got older performing on stage and dancing on stage to not feel scared or worried because this is where I belong. This is my home. I went to Detroit School of Arts. I was actually a vocal major there. So I had like a little bit of technical training with vocals and a little bit of like music theory knowledge and everything like that. So yeah, it's been a long journey of just building who I am in the entertainment world and like who I am all
So you mentioned you're part of Detroit New Era.
over Detroit. Yes.
Detroit. Sorry about that. Tell me more about that.
Yes, so we are a community organization. We just had our 10-year anniversary last August. Anything that you can think of that us as a people need, without looking outside of us to get it, we provide. We have over 16 different programs that we run and provide all year round. We provide resources for different communities, political education, mentoring programs, food programs. We have our women's empowerment program. We have our men's. So it's a lot. We have so many different chapters all around the country. And yeah, we do for us. We bring it's all about engagement. It's all about organization and just having like boots on the ground and not looking outside of us for resources and what we need as a people.
Nice, thank you, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Check us out. New Era Detroit on all platforms.
okay. When did you first know that, dance wasn't just something that you loved, like, it was meant to something that you were meant to do?
Oh, it's hard to just pinpoint one moment because it just kind of came just so naturally. And before I knew it, it's like, oh wow, this is really happening, you know. And when I first started dancing, it was just for fun, you know. I started in high school. In high school, I joined my first dance crew, and that's when I really got introduced to the dance world and the dance community in Detroit. And it was really just for fun, you know. I love to do it. I knew I loved to dance, but I never knew that it was something that would happen professionally for me. I didn't even know that it was possible. Like I see things on TV, I see the dancers on TV, but I didn't know that dance was that route for me. What I did always know is that I always wanted to be in entertainment some way, somehow. I knew that I either wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be an actor, like I wanted to be on TV, I wanted to be in that world and in that life. I think that when my first professional job or like when it comes to the industry, it was the connections that I had been building, you know, with people that are in that world. And it's always been about just showing up as my best self, not knowing that that's where it was leading me, you know? So I think that just as time went by, like it just kind of clicks like, wow, this is really happening. And I'm still like in that, you know, like me do every time I do something, it's like, dang, this is really my life. Am I really, you know, I'm really doing it. It clicks for me every time. You know, I have that realization. I'm still having that realization. Every opportunity that I get, I still have that moment. So I'm having it still to this day. It's not one pinpointed moment where I'm like, this is for me. I have that thought and that moment like that clicks for me every time.
That's exciting,
Yeah, it is.
'cause different, so that is, like, really exciting to still have that
Yeah.
vision, like, consistently every time, like, you know? Listen, I love that. Who have been, some of your biggest influences in dance?
Cool. I just wanna shout out the Detroit dance community as a whole. Detroit, all of my Detroit mentors, Devon Ballinger, Yuri, Gerald. It just the Detroit community as we we like kind of like it's like a tight knit thing, you know what I mean? And a lot of people they think that you have to go somewhere else, you have to go to Atlanta, you have to go to LA, and there are a lot of opportunities there, you know, but I appreciate being able to build a foundation in a place like Detroit and have that connection because it's just something that I can take with me anywhere I go. And I will always give those people my flowers before anybody else.
Love that. We gotta keep loving on our people at home,
Absolutely.
know that they are appreciated, um, around here specifically, you know, because we
Okay.
show a lot of love to each other in general, but
Yeah.
sometimes we
We
need,
have
you know
to.
you know?
We have to.
Yes. So, how did the opportunity come about to tour with Cash Style? Tell us about that.
Okay, so you know that opportunity it really comes back to me being able to build the connections that I built with people over time. I was blessed enough to not have to audition for that. I was considered for it because the choreographer, Devon Ballinger, I've worked with him a lot over the years. I've been able to build a professional relationship with him. And I think that because of how I've showed up for other moments, whether it was a professional job, whether it was one of his classes, one of his sessions, he was able to trust me to reach out to me for my availability. And, you know, if I was down and I was down. So that's really how that opportunity came up. I think it was just a testament of, you know, who you know. and not what you know, and then showing up and then showing what you know. So I appreciate Devon for that. You know, he reached out and I accepted.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what the usual process is to go through an audition. And I know there's callbacks and things of that nature. Like, let's paint the picture.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, every opportunity or, you know, can be different. So what I'm about to say is not like, but this is typical. Let's say it's an audition. Sometimes you'll have an open audition. Let me just talk about an open audition. And the open audition is when a casting team or a director or whoever's casting, choreographer, they may post about it, time, date, location. This is an audition. They won't automatically say like who it's for necessarily. They may say a look that they're looking for, but this is an open audition, meaning anybody that maybe you might have to register can come, but you don't have to be necessarily signed to an agency. You don't necessarily have to be personally invited. This is an open audition. So, okay, we get to the open audition. Most of the time you're going to want to have your headshot, your resume. You're going to want to come looking presentable and you want to come looking how your headshot looks. So, the picture that you come up with, that's how you want to show up to the audition. You want to have, of course, you want to have your outfit slayed, your makeup slayed. They want you to come to the audition how you're going to look on stage, you know? So you get there. Most of the time, there's probably your registration and they'll give you your number. And then you'll have time to stretch. They'll do an intro and let you know what to expect for the audition. And then after that, you go straight into learning choreo. You have to be very quick at learning in most professional auditions for the industry. You learn the choreo and then they may break you off in groups. They'll send everybody out. They'll call you by numbers to come in with your group and you do the choreo as many times as they need you or want you to do it. Sometimes they'll do like cuts after that to narrow it down. And yeah, sometimes you may find out on the spot if you made it. And then sometimes you'll have to wait, like, hey, we'll email or we'll call. And then it's just a waiting game after that. And that's how that is just a simple way some of most auditions will go.
Yeah.
For an open
You get the
audition.
call back, you get the job. Now, like, what does that piece look like? Are you sending email? Are they sending you, calling you to let you know? Do you have to show up in other places for
So
things? Like, how does that go once you get the job?
okay, so once you get the job, it's more than likely it'll come in an email. And that email is gonna have all the information you need as far as when rehearsal is gonna start. Sometimes it's sooner than others. Like for example, I'm gonna give an example, even though like I haven't touched on this, but I did Coachella 2 years ago with Toby and Wigway. This was an open audition. They posted on Instagram. They did not say what it was for. I knew the artist that it was for. They posted the audition flyer on a Friday night. The audition was Monday in Houston. I live in Detroit. I got on my phone. I said, I need to figure out how to get to Houston, y'all. I need to figure out how to get to
I
Houston.
know that's
I
right.
flew out to Houston Sunday. Audition, no, actually, I think I flew in the same day as the audition. Got ready, went to the audition. Like I said, they had us register. Um, and then we learned one piece of choreo. I think it was a contemporary. No, it was hip hop first. Then they had us audition that in groups. And then they had cuts. And after cuts, they had the rest of the people that didn't get cut learn a hip hop piece. We auditioned that in groups. And after that is when they brought us in to let us know who made it. So we found out on the spot right then and there that we made it or we didn't make it. So after we found out who made it, who didn't make it, right then and there is when they told us what it was for and that rehearsals were going to be starting the next Monday. So the audition was Monday. We had a week before rehearsals were going to be starting. So after that, like I found out everything that night. Then I received the email with, more information, location for rehearsal, um, all of the information needed. So I made it. Now it's time to get my mind right ready for rehearsal because straight out of the audition, now it's time to put your real professional hat on. You have to come on time. You have to come ready and eager and focused
Mhm.
and, professional. So we go to rehearsals and it's time to learn an entire show, like an entire set. That comes with a lot of mental stability as well as physical. So gotta take care of your body, gotta bring your water, gotta bring your snacks and everything like that. So yeah, that's how that went for me.
Okay. Nice. So, how do you work in the touring with your everyday life, like with your job?
Okay. So with my job, I work for ECE Sub Hub. So technically, I am not employed by the center that I work with. I'm employed by a third party,
Okay.
and which is perfect for me in my life because I absolutely need something that's flexible and, but not only that, like I can't just work for money. I have to love what I do. I have to like what I do. So this job is perfect for me because I love children and I'm able to make my own schedule through ECE Sub Hub. And so with the tour, I was able to tell them, like, I got booked. I will be gone from this date to this date. And I was able to leave and then come back when I'm ready and I pick up where I left off.
Nice.
But the interesting thing is that while I was on tour, I was also in classes to get my CDA, which is the Child Development Association credential. So that was like a lot to juggle because I have like assignments that I have to do. I have class. All of my assignments are due on Sundays, but all of my shows are Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays.
Wow.
So, and then my classes are on Mondays. And then also we drove everywhere. We didn't fly. So I'm on the road, and I have to make sure that I get all of my assignments in by Wednesday because I want to have it out the way so that I can focus on the shows that are on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. And sometimes it would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But yeah, I did that while on tour. It was a challenge for me, particularly because I am the type of person where I kind of when I'm doing work or something, I kind of need to be isolated. I need it to be quiet. If it's not quiet, I need like meditation music, like not the, the rah rah, the turn up music that's gonna distract me. But I had to like I had to get past that because while on tour, we had a small team. So we all stayed together. And so I would be in the room doing assignments and they'd be up in the front turning up, getting lit. And I'm like, dang, like it took a lot of discipline. But I'm so proud of myself because I made it happen and I was able to juggle that. It's just really about just knowing what you want and staying focused
Nice.
and keeping your eyes on the prize.
Okay. So is that another thing that touring taught you about yourself?
For sure. I think that touring in every job that I do, I always surprise myself. I'm not getting any younger. Okay, and I've been doing this for a little minute. So I think that me doing the tour and it is a lot on the body, but also doing the tour and going after another goal that had nothing to do with it, it just really taught me how much I've grown, and how much I'm really like made for this, and it's like even though it's a challenge, it's still it's still like was a no-brainer, it's still like I gotta do it, so I'm gonna do it. And it's not I'm not complaining, I'm not unhappy, I'm still happy, like I don't feel pressure, because this is just something that I want. This is something that I love. This is something that I signed up for. And this is something that I know that I can do. I don't know that I'm made for it. So I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel, like it wasn't going to happen. Like it was just, it is what it is. Like we doing this and I'm having a good time. I still had a great time on tour. I don't feel like I missed out on anything. And I'm very proud of myself. I give myself my flowers for, doing that.
That and, we all should be giving ourselves flowers, but I love that. I love that for you. That's the
Thank you.
able to accomplish multiple things, and while all of these things are something that you love to do, and how often are we able to really, like, say that? You know what I'm
Right?
saying? Like, when you have that moment, like, "Girl,
Yeah.
congratulations."
It's yeah, thank you. And it's important. It's important to like just sit back and like reflect. And that's another thing that I had to teach myself because a lot of times I'll do something and then it's like finishing is like, okay, now what's next? And I had to learn to just kind of like sit back and really be able to reflect on what it is that I have accomplished and what it is that I just did, by the grace of God and, these blessings and really like give thanks and really like appreciate where I am and realize like this is things that I'll never would have even imagined that I would be doing. But being able to travel and do what I love, it's just it's important to just sit back for a second, breathe and like really reflect and really give thanks for those things before just worried about what's next.
Okay. Yeah, so you are also a choreographer.
Dibble and dabble, in choreo. I really love learning. I really love learning and I really love being the student. But I also, I also consider myself a leader as well. I think like so when the first time I ever like really like choreographed anything is because I went to college. I went to Kentucky State University in Frankfort, Kentucky. And when I graduated high school, I was only 2 years in dancing. Um, and and I did fall in love with it in those 2 years. And I did major it in college.
Okay.
I danced in the band in college. But outside of that, what you say?
What was the name of the majorette?
K-Red.
Okay.
Yes, yes. But outside of that, it wasn't really a lot of places to like to train, to like scratch that itch that I was getting right before I graduated high school. So I had decided to just choreograph something, on my own. It was my first time choreographing something. I think it was to Partition by Beyonce.
I'm on part
And yeah, I'm like, I kind of got the feel for it. I liked it. I taught a couple people and they ended up asking me to choreograph for our dance extravaganza concert that we had every year there. And this was my second semester at school. So that was like my first taste of choreographing. And then after I graduated, I did teach major classes in Detroit. And I still do major private. I don't do like a weekly class, but I still do privates for anybody that's interested. My privates are really, really geared toward younger girls that is either on the majorette teams already or want to join a HBCU majorette team and like seniors that are getting ready to graduate just so they can get a feel of what they may be walking into a band camp or joining a HBCU dance team.
7.
But, not just that, anybody that just want to move their body and, get a different style in. It's not a lot of people teaching majorette in Detroit. And so yeah, that is something, that's
Yeah.
another thing. Yeah.
Okay. How has stepping into your role as a teacher, whether it's in, the studio, like you said, teaching other choreography or in the classroom, like how has that shifted your relationship with dance?
Okay. So I think that first of all, I think it would be the other way around for me. I think that my relationship with dance and just, being a student and learning being in a learning environment, it shifted me and it molded me into the teacher that I am. So, just it's important to be able to be a student before you can be a teacher. And it's important to, to listen first and be an observer so that you have, I think for me personally, so that I can have something to offer, um more perspective, to offer my students, whether it is in the classroom or in the studio. And I think that even outside of dance, just life, just life in general, it helps me. I've always been like a personable type of person. I've always been somebody that everybody can come to vent or to gain perspective, So I think that all of that, it really does translate in anywhere that I go, whether it be dance, whether it be school, whether it be my organization, it all just kind of like translates in every area of life.
What's your intentions when you are in your space as a teacher? You talked about how you like to learn and being able to be a student first is very important. But what are
Mhm.
your intentions when you're in that space? Like, are you feeding that back to your students?
Yeah, yeah. So, I think that it's a cycle, you know? So being able to not only gain perspective, but also give perspective. I am working with 4-year olds, 3 to 5 year olds. And like that age is it's just so important. It's like they're sponges.
Mhm.
So they are learning behaviors from the adults from what they see. So just I have to be intentional about the energy that I'm bringing because they are really observing that and absorbing that. So I'm very intentional about how I speak, to them. I'm intentional about what I'm putting out, the energy that I'm putting out, because energy is just so important.
Yes.
If I'm like walking into my classroom and I'm like all tense and I'm like all over the place and, they're going to be like that. So just they know, okay? They know and they feel it. So like sometimes I do have to slow myself down, calm myself down, slow my mind down and just take a moment because like it's not I don't want to like put my anxiety on them. Like I may feel overstimulated or overwhelmed and it seems like it's a lot going on, but like I don't want to like project that. So I have to like always like keep myself in check and check myself and take care of myself.
Right. Yeah. Taking care of self first is very important.
Yes, for
You
sure.
ever bring any elements of dance or movement into your preschool classroom?
I be getting down with my babies.
Dance.
They love to dance. They love to dance, and I love hyping them up.
What is one of your proudest teacher moments?
Hmm. Are we talking in general in dance or
You can give me 2. Give me one to dance and one in the classroom, or a couple of
okay, okay. One of my proudest teacher moments, I have to say, outside of dance, I am like fairly new to the preschool world, and I do have like little babies that I call all young kids babies. So even if it's a preschooler or a toddler, like I'm calling them babies.
yeah.
They're my babies. I did have a baby that she struggled before I got there. And I was able to take her up under my wing. I was able to potty train her. Now, mind you, I don't have any kids of my own. I have godkids. I have a niece. I have a nephew. But I think that my proudest moment was hearing from her parents the improvement and getting my flowers from her parents. How not only has she improved in the classroom, but also at home. And it just really feels good to make a difference, even if it's in one family's life. I think that was like, okay, yeah,
Beautiful. It takes a
doing something right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's I mean, because I know those things are not easy, teaching potty
it's
training and
not.
it's a learned behavior, so it's good that you were able to carry that on at school for her too, and it showed up at home. That's wonderful. I know they were thankful,
Yeah.
like, "Girl,
Okay, they like, I don't know what you did.
I love that." Has there been any moments, in your dance that has served as, like, a healing from anything that you were going through, some type of form of healing from anything or a moment?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've dealt with anxiety, I've dealt with depression, and in those moments, it's really, really hard to just get up and do. Even if you know that this is the thing that's gonna help. I know what I need to do. I know, but it's just hard to get up and do. But every time I've been in those places, dance has really been that thing. Like, and it could be me just forcing myself to get up to go to a class, forcing myself to get up to just go to a session or to just, be around people that share this same love and the same passion and being surrounded by that love. It's always been that thing. And I always know like I need to get up and just go dance, Just it's being around that community, it's been very, very, very healing for my mental and in those moments. Just having something. And that's always been that thing. And, ever since I discovered that that was a thing, I always have to like force myself to like get out of that and find the will and the motivation to do the thing that I know is going to make me feel better. And it's always been that. Dance has always been that for me.
Have you like, how do you protect your creative energy? Like, especially when you're, in spaces with a lot of people, like, for example, while you're touring. Like, how do you keep yourself grounded? Do you have moments where you just go off and, like, have a moment to yourself because you're not at rehearsal or
Mhm.
anything, so you just
Yeah. So I definitely like have my moments where I need to just like be. I'm very good at paying attention to my body and my heart and, not ignoring those moments. Sometimes I need the stillness. I need the moment, the quietness to just kind of like be off to myself, to meditate, to breathe intentionally, which is something that like we don't do a lot because we can't help we gotta breathe. But when you like take an intentional deep breath and really like take note of how that feels, that's something that I'm really intentional about. Just taking a moment, stepping back, meditating, breathing, and just like doing like just a full check, body check. Like how am I feeling? Am I taking care of myself? So, yeah, like the self care and the mental checks on yourself is just really important, and I make sure that I stay on.
what are some of your post-performance releases that you do? Maybe do you go get a bunch of crushed ice and you wanna chew that afterwards because 'cause you're done or, like
Girl, sleep,
I know that's because you out there moving, child.
sleep, honey. I lay it down.
I know that
I lay it down real quick.
heels, sneakers, or barefooted.
Okay, so that is
Wherever you
hard.
pulling it from.
Yeah, that is really, really hard because I love all three for different reasons.
Okay.
Like the heels just like feel sexy and sensual and like a woman and like just like upright, shoulders back, head chin up. Like it's just something about that. But the sneakers to really like get down. Like sometimes I just wanna like go off and like sneakers is really like that thing. And then like barefoot, I'm a flower child. I'll walk around barefoot in the grass outside that's just another way that I get grounded. So
Er,
I am one of those little barefoot flower hippies for sure.
tree hugger.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. A moment on tour that still lives rent free in your head right now.
Moment on tour that lives rent free. I'm gonna say so. Like I said, we had a small team, but we really, really bonded. We bonded a lot on tour, especially when we did North Carolina because we had like 3 off days. Shout out to my tour family. I love y'all. But we all decided to come together and surprise one of our tour tour mates. Ken. He drove us around everywhere. He made sure that we got to where we need to get, and he just did so much. And his energy, he stayed positive the entire time. And we decided one day, like, we should just surprise him. Like, we should just like get cook and get him a cake and decorate, and we should get him some balloons and a card and this and that. And we literally decorated the house while he was upstairs taking a shower. Like we had to do it real quick, and it was just like a moment. And I love moments like that. You know, I love being able to build connections, in person connections, because everything is just so technology, social media. It's so important to build them in person connections. And I love that we had that moment, and that's something that's gonna always that we locked in for sure. And I love that.
That was nice of you all to do that.
Yeah. So like, we working, we gotta work, I go on stage, I gotta dance, those are moments that of course we can always have, but like outside of that, being able to not only work hard, but being able to play hard and build a family, build a connection, that really made the tour what it was for me.
Nice. Give me one word to describe your movement style right now.
Can style clean,
Okay.
clean,
Nice.
very, very clean, detailed. Yeah.
Okay. What is your go-to hype song when you're about to perform?
Hard one. That's a hard one. It's either gonna be some Kendrick Lamar song because I love K Dot, and I'm not even just talking about They Not Like Us, even though
No, for real.
that's a banger, but even though that's a banger. But I'm gonna have to say, like, I throw on some K Dot, some Kendrick, and be ready to go. Either that or something that's gonna make me shake my ass. I can say that, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
That's good for the soul, okay? So what's next for you?
What's next? So right now I am really, really, really focused on taking care of my body. Um, with how long I've been dancing, my bones and my body is aged more than me.
Okay.
So right after tour, I have experienced a back injury.
Mhm.
I've always had lower back issues. But right now, like I'm really, really focused on really taking care of my body, recovering so that I can get back to it in a healthy way. We are making up our California tour dates that had to get canceled because of the LA fires. So that is at the end of May. That is like what's next for dance. But I am going to be in a stage play. I am actually getting ready for 2 stage plays right now. One, is going to be on May 25th. It's called Enough is Enough, written by Keela Harris, and we have started rehearsals for that. Not sure exactly when tickets are going to go on sale, but keep a lookout for that.
Where would that one be? Do you know the
Where will it be? Yes, that's going to be at Marygrove Theater. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, that like I said before, I have been like preparing to get my CDA. So I actually have my in-person evaluation for that on Tuesday.
location?
So hopefully I'll be receiving my CDA soon. Um yes, I will be receiving my CDA in like the next week.
That's right, okay. What advice would you give to dancers, who would wanna follow in your footsteps and get to walk in those shoes of actually going out on a professional tour?
I would say always show up as if somebody is watching. You never know who's watching, and you never know who is around, whether it be one of your peers. You never know where they could be the next day. You feel me? To where they could bring your name up in a room that can place you in the places that you want to be. So I would say that always show up as if you are where it is that you want to be. I also would say take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mental, stay present. Don't take for granted where you are now. Trust the process and just, stay faithful, stay present and keep going. You got it.
Okay. Now, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at cc.universe, SISI.universe, and on TikTok at, what is my TikTok name? Nicole Sierra, NicoleSiarr.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was so good to
Thank you.
talk to you and coming on to share your story with us, allowing us to hear your story.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. And I look forward to all the other stuff that you're doing. Whatever you have coming up, don't hesitate to let me know. Let's get the girls to support you on those things.
Too, and I love what you're doing with your platforms. I really do appreciate being here.
I appreciate that. I'm going to stop the recording.